So we got a simple question for y'all on this fine-ass Monday morning. Sun is shining, birds are chirping, our team is still terrible, but you know. So the question is, are the Vikings close to a Super Bowl, or do they need to blow everything up? Or is it somewhere in between? It's probably somewhere in between. But here's the thing, when you're close, sometimes you're just Peter Principling the F out of it, where it's just like you've hit your level of incompetency, you can't progress higher, even though you're afraid. It's like, all right, if we restart, maybe we can't even get back to this point. I get it. I understand it. It is a little bit of paralysis by analysis for some of these NFL teams that you're worried that you can't do better. You look at the Bengals for so many years under Marvin Lewis, where he got to the playoffs like 7-8 times, never won a playoff game, and teams just do that. They just plateau. Or you look at the Eagles with Andy Reid all those years, where he was making the NFC title games, made a Super Bowl, lost, but eventually they just had to move on. And then eventually they won a Super Bowl with Andy Reid protege and Doug Peterson. So, sometimes you do need a reboot. You look at the teams that are in contention now. You look at the Chiefs, Niners. Well, I don't know about the Chiefs. We're recording this Sunday before the games. I don't know. Then also look at the Titans, and also the Patriots look like they're going to have their version of a rebuild or reboot. So should the Vikings, keep the faith for one more year or be looking to blow it up? Well, I think the answer was already made 2 years ago, where the Vikings were going to give Kirk Cousins the entire 3-year run to see what happens, right? And everyone's future is tied to Kirk Cousins, whether it be Rick Spielman, who gave him the contract, Mike Zimmer, who was hampered with Kirk Cousins and the contract. And it is no mistake, no accident that all three of their contracts, Cousins, Spielman, and Zimmer, all link up together through the 2020 season. So I think the decision to just keep this team together for 3 years was already made. Although, the Vikings bombed out. If the Vikings had embarrassed themselves in New Orleans the way that they did in San Francisco, and then things could have got a little bit squirrely. But, Cousins' contract determines everything. If he was out of contract, if he was a free agent this offseason, I think that they would be leaning towards blowing things up. But since he is in place, he is going to be the quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings. He did show some serious signs of life this season. October Offensive Player of the Month, had that great stretch run at the end of the Saints game as well. So I think the Vikings will circle the wagons and give it one more shot in 2020 because, look around what you have. This is a very talent-rich team. You have a quarterback who is capable on a given day of being a top 5 to 10-ish quarterback, but can he get it done in the big games? Can he get it done on Monday Night Football? That'll thing. You have a top 5 running back that has resurrected the number 32 running game from 2018. Made a big leap there. You have the best wide receiver duo in the NFL when A, one's not injured or getting cashed in practice, and B, the other one isn't passive-aggressively trying to get his way out of town. And also, you have a defense that is still great. And is still capable of being great. You do have some aging pieces in there, but they can still certainly get after it, especially you have a bunch of emerging young stars who are becoming leaders on the team. You look at Kendricks, Hunter, Anthony Harris, etc. And also, you have a coach in Mike Zimmer who has he plateaued? He has won 2 playoff games. You do have to give him respect there. But also, the team just fails to show up at times in big games. You look at the division round against the Niners, like the Week 16 against the Packers. So that is certainly concerning, and that is something that Zimmer has always had throughout his entire tenure. Sometimes in big games they don't show up, and sometimes even small games too. Look at Denver this year. You look at the Bills 2 years ago. You look at the Colts 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, it's all the same thing. And also, the defensive coaching staff is great. Offensive coaching staff, elevating Stefanski, and also bring in the Kubiak contingent. Like they've gotten the best out of Kirk Cousins this year, and then they turned around an inept running game. But what you don't have is you don't have big time wins against winning teams, except against the Saints, and also you have multiple no-show games, right? And you went 0-2 against the Packers. You went. Well, for all intents and purposes, you lost at Chicago, but also you lost at home in a game that didn't matter, right? But either way, you went 0-4 against your 2 biggest division rivals. You lost at the Chiefs. You lost at Seattle, and you really have nothing to show for it. You just really don't. So, this is tough. This is one of those I could see either way, but I say no blowing it up this offseason, mainly because you have Cousins under contract for 2020. But if things go wonky, if things go pear-shaped next year, blow everything up. Do it. Completely implode it. So if the Vikings miss the playoffs next year, fire everyone. Spielman, Zimmer, Cousins, don't re-sign him, and just completely start over. And I think the Vikings should get a running start. I think they should look at a quarterback day 2 of the draft this year to be grooming to be the next guy. But I don't know. What is the standard though? What is standard for next year? Like what is just enough where you're tantalizingly teased and you're coming back for more? NFC title game appearance. Say they lose a close heartbreaker in the NFC title game. Is that enough to just circle the wagons yet again with Spielman, re-sign Zimmer, re-sign Kirk Cousins, and then run it back? I think it's a Super Bowl appearance. I think you have to get it to the Super Bowl or reboot, restart it, do up. And also start showing up in big games. Like they need to go on the road and beat Seattle. They need to start beating teams with winning records. They have to do that. No lapses. Because great teams beat great teams. It's just what they do. And is this team going to be great, or are they just good against bad teams and sort of whatever? So I don't know. But I think this team got a stay of execution from the governor. Big shout out to, what is it? Who's the governor right now? Oh, Walz. There you go. Also, we don't have the death penalty, so it's a moot point. But, I mean, next year, if it goes wonky again, fire everyone, start over. Pookie, let's burn this mother down. All right, but your thoughts. Are the Vikings close to winning a Super Bowl, or should they rebuild? Let us know in the comment section below. Also, subscribe for daily Vikings takes. If you want to support the work, pull us up in the Venmo, plus give us a follow on social media as well. But until next time, Skull, production value.